Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to today's video. This episode will guide you through the issues of the New Mutants published by Marvel Comics in 1983. Issue number 6. In San Francisco, the New Mutants have decided to invade the home of the former General Nguyen Coi of the Vietnamese National Police. Sunspot and Cannibal use their mutant powers to crash through the door and ceiling. General Coi poses as a businessman now, but in reality he's the main crime lord in the Bay Area. He is also the uncle of Sean Koi Ma, Karma of the New Mutants. Both Karma and Wolfsbane use their powers to secure the room and capture the General. The team needs information from him regarding the whereabouts of the international criminal Viper. He says he's not dabbling in criminal activities anymore, but Rain starts growling at him because she can tell he's lying. They tell him they have no time for games because their friend is in danger, and the General asks what they will do if he refuses. Sean tells him that would be regrettable, and she possesses him and walks him towards the ledge of the 50 stories high penthouse. With Professor Xavier being busy and unavailable to read his mind, they will have to resort to forcing the information out of him using their own powers. Karma releases her hold on the General and tells him to look below. She tells him that a simple thought, just one step, will make him fall 250 meters down and end his life and rid the world of a piece of human vermin. She orders him to start talking, but he still refuses. He calls her bluff and tells her to rid herself of the one man that betrayed her parents, corrupted her brother and forced her to destroy him. He tells her to take his life if she can, but she cannot. Roberto steps in to do the honors. He has no moral issues with killing a criminal like this man whatsoever. Sean tells Rain and Sam to stop Roberto because the New Mutants do not kill. That's what they have pledged, and if they deviate from that, they are no better than their uncle. The General then corrects her, telling her that he's not an unreasonable man or vindictive at all. He will be happy to assist them, but for a price. He tells Sean he wants her service for a year long in return. This presents a dilemma for Sean: do her uncle's dirty work, using her powers to expand his criminal empire, or reject the offer and abandon their goal to liberate Danielle. She then says that she will accept the deal. In the meantime, in the deserts of New Mexico, the members of Team America are heading, racing even, for the mountains, and Are You Ready and Wolf are in the lead. Wolf crash lands, as he's not as used to riding off the road as Reddy is, and Reddy makes fun of him, teaching him a long overdue lesson right as the rest of Team America catch up to them. Professor Xavier pops up in all their minds and is furious. Danielle's life is at stake and there's no time for them to argue amongst themselves. Honcho, their leader, fully agrees with Xavier, and he scolds them for behaving the way they have, and now they're falling behind on schedule with Wolf's bike having broken down. They do not have time for this. Aboard the X-Men's Blackbird, Xavier and Lalanda are discussing the fact that Xavier is having to put full focus on Team America with their infighting, and that leaves him with virtually no energy left to check up on the New Mutants. Lalanda tells him to take it easy, because he's no use to anyone if he exhausts himself. Xavier was hoping he would be able to switch his attention between the two teams, but that seems to not be doable. Xavier is having a hard time with both teams not having achieved their objective yet. Team America has not gotten the crystal, which Viper forced him to get, nor do the New Mutants have saved Danielle yet. Lalanda tells him to be more patient, and that hardships like these are the price that a leader pays. On the shores of Big Sur in California, Danielle's being held captive. She's trying to figure out the proper way of using her abilities to escape from her cell. She does not know if there are any guards outside, nor does she know what effect her powers would have on them, or on the person watching the monitor connected to the camera that's been watching her. She's being observed by the Silver Samurai, who is amazed at the untamed spirit Danielle seems to possess. He is being joined by Viper, who asks him about the prisoner. He then tells her that Danielle's dangerous and should be killed. Viper tells him that will happen in due time. She needs some time to figure out how exactly that's going to play out, and she's also curious about the child's powers. Viper is asking the samurai what's been ailing him lately. She notices a difference in his focus and behavior. Recently, his father Lord Shingon Yoshida has been killed, and he would have inherited leadership of the clan Yoshida, but his place had been usurped by Shingon's daughter and his half-sister Mariko instead. And now, Mariko has announced her engagement to the Canadian X-Men Wolverine, which infuriates him. Viper tells him that once this business has been taken care of, they will head to Tokyo, Japan, and deal with the family business. They will claim what they think is rightfully his, and if Mariko and Wolverine object, they will suffer the consequences and die. Team America has arrived at the intended location. It's a fortress of unknown origin, and bribes have been keeping it off the radar. And people that wouldn't be bribed have disappeared. The same fate that would happen to the people who tried to penetrate the security zone surrounding it. Wolf and Reddy seem to have gained a certain respect for one another and are actually able to function as teammates. They are tired from their journey and Xavier forces them to catch some sleep, as Cowboy slides down the slope, informing everyone that Honcho and Wrench have started climbing the walls of the fortress. Apparently the fortress belongs to Advanced Idea Mechanics, also known as A.I.M. Xavier notices guards approaching and warns Honcho and Wrench. Being warned, they dispose of the guards easily and disguise themselves as A.I.M members using the guards' uniforms. The guards are female, but with the thickness of the uniforms that should not be noticeable. Xavier has been able to get the layout of the complex and notice the importance of a certain project, nicknamed Matrix, from the minds of the guards, but he has not been able to side scan the researchers so far. Their minds seem to be protected by some kind of side shield. He can tell excitement, yet also fear in their minds. Honcho and Wrench have made their way to the vault, and Wrench tries to pick the electronic lock. Some form of alarm is triggered, and the A.I.M soldiers start firing at them. Wrench was successful in opening the vault, and they're able to grab the crystal and get out of there. To the surprise of the Team America members who had been waiting outside, suddenly the whole fortress explodes. At the same time, Xavier is being psychically attacked, with the force coming from Black Mesa, the fortress itself. It's an extremely powerful attack, and the only thing Xavier can do is sense that it's coming from a mutant. And because of his own telepathic powers and the rapport he shares with his lover, the attack hits Lilandra as well. Back at Viper's estate in Big Sur, the New Mutants are sneaking around on the premises in the night, taking out the guards. When Sam mentions that this reminds him of their first encounter, Sean tells him to shush. They will have to be careful when they're going any further, and they can't wait any longer for the professor. She tells him that Xavier told her to consult with him first before they took any further action, but he's not responding to her mind calls. But someone else does respond. Someone who knows her name and tells her that she will be his instrument with which she will destroy Xavier. This terrifies Sean and she screams out, alarming the other guards in the building. A searchlight is turned on and aimed at the team, and a squad of soldiers run outside. Cannonball smashes through them, destroying the building, and Sunspot picks up a truck and throws it to inflict more damage. This shuts off the lights, and Sean uses the darkness to sneak around and possess two of the guards. The fight and destruction close by wrecks Danielle's cell, and she uses this opportunity to rid herself of the two guards outside her cell. She uses her power to distract the guards and knocks them out cold, barehandedly. And as she's trying to escape and turn the corner, she finds Rain lying on the floor, unconscious and bleeding. She got slashed on her sides by the Silver Samurai's energy sword. In North Mexico, Team America are on the run from their heist, and apparently Honcho and Wrench have escaped from the explosion of the building unharmed. They all wonder how they were able to do that and think that it might have something to do with the crystal. They don't like the fact that they haven't heard anything from the professor, as they're being shot by A.I.M hovercrafts, which are in pursuit. Two members are shot off their bikes and lie on the ground as Cowboy tries to distract the A.I.M soldiers. Wolf doesn't like him doing so because of the danger and fears for his life. He makes a desperate attempt to summon the Black Rider as he recalls Roberto's words and figures it's time for him to act up. He gets possessed by the Black Rider entity and performs stunts which should not be humanly possible. He disposes of the A.I.M hovercrafts and ends up on the backseat of Cowboy's bike. Wolf tells him what it feels like to be possessed by the Black Rider entity, and Cowboy tells him that he will have to put the power to the test because there's more of them coming. At Viper's location, the Silver Samurai is about to slash Danielle, who's trying to protect Rain, but they get rescued by Cannonball, who pushes the samurai away from them and slams him into the rocks outside of the building. Cannonball gets joined by Sunspot in the fight, and he punches the samurai hard. So hard, the samurai is convinced that his armor would not be able to protect him a second time against Roberto's power. As Roberto approaches him, he teleports out, again, vowing to come back for these kids once he's made sure Viper is alright. Viper herself is stuck in a battle of willpower against karma. Sean is trying to possess her, but Viper is resisting and trying to point her gun at Sean's head to pull the trigger. The samurai teleports in and distracts Viper. This allows Sean to gain the upper hand in the mental struggle. She then uses Viper's body and points her gun at the samurai, but he manages to knock Viper out cold instead, which has an unexpected result for him, namely leaving Sean vulnerable. He now has a chance to kill her effortlessly, but he chooses to teleport the two of them safely away and leave the pleasure for Viper herself some other time. The sun is coming up again, and most of the members of Team America have made it back to the Blackbird plane of Charles Xavier. They have found Xavier and the lander unconscious and are taking care of them. They now understand why they hadn't heard from him for a while. He tells them of the psychic attack he endured, one of a caliber he hasn't ever experienced before. It felt to him like the emergence of a new powerful mutant, the birth of a new threat, and he wishes he knew what A.I.M had been working on. Hancho tells the professor that they had been successful in taking the crystal, and now Xavier wonders why Viper would want it so badly. He tells Team America to strap in, because he's been out of contact with the students for too long already and wants to get to them quickly. Hancho tells Xavier that they're still missing two of his team members, but Xavier tells him that those two should have arrived by the time the Blackbird is ready for liftoff, as he points at one of the monitors. Wolf is approaching the plane, carrying Cowboy with him. At Viper's base, the new mutant members are fighting each other again, and they are happy to see Danielle is unharmed. Sean makes a joke about Danielle's outfit, and Danny is somewhat embarrassed. Roberto asks about Rain, but she seems to be recovering pretty fast. While Danny had been looking over Rain, Rain had told her about the deal Sean made with her uncle. And Danny tells her that she doesn't like it one bit, and if anyone should be in debt to her uncle, it's her. But Sean tells her it's none of her concern, and that she gave her will. The professor is able to establish contact with the students again, and he tells Sean that he's not happy with her having made a dangerous decision like this. But he also acknowledges that it was unavailable for consultation, and that their mission was a success. He tells them that he will be with them within the hour. Sean then sees Xavier's astral projection change before her eyes. Apparently she's the only one seeing this, as she's being contacted by the same unknown entity as before. It's telling her that it has come to claim her body and soul forever. She trembles in fear and falls to her knees, and she starts speaking in Vietnamese. Sam tells Danny to carry Rain, as him and Roberto will be taking Sean along with them outside. On a boat close by, Viper tells the samurai that she doesn't like loose ends and tells him to deal with them. He then pushes on a button, which makes Viper's former base totally explode. Back on the Blackbird, Xavier senses his mind link being severed, with a lot of confusion and terror in the minds of his students right before he got cut off. He tells Lalandra to hurry and get them to California as fast as possible, as he fears something terrible has happened to his students. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already, because that will help me out in growing the channel and being able to produce more videos like this one. See you next episode.